Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 23 of the 30 Days of Transformation, a journey to your true self. Today, we're going to talk about creating sacred spaces, and especially, I would say, one sacred space in your home for sure. But I want to also talk about what sacred spaces means, and it means that you don't really have to have a designated space, it can be super intentional. A lot of people on the journey that I talk to have this idea that they really have to do some ritual, that they really have to kind of seclude themselves away from people, the environment, before they can find themselves within, or they can get centered, or they can get grounded, or they can fully embody the presence of like being present. And one of the things I invite you in this to think about when we talk about sacred spaces, the true sacred spaces inside of you. It's going below the mind chatter. It's stepping outside of the noise outside of you. It's being able to learn how to, step away from clutter and chaos and be able to truly tune in to your own soul. So I want you to think about first and foremost, when we talk about a sacred space, it's inside of you. And the sooner you can let go of the external environment and find that inside, the faster you will come into alignment with this space inside of yourself that you're looking for to get still. Because that's what a sacred space is really for, is to really help you get centered, get still, get grounded, right? So that being said, that takes practice, which is what we've been talking about in this whole journey. Been the practice of the things that you have to do to come into the self mastery that it takes to become that true version of yourself. So let's just say for a moment, in that practice, that you can't just jump into that internal space because you get distracted by what's going on around you. And that could be noise. It could be, I got to tell you, whenever I had COVID, and I was in bed for that 4 months, and my nervous system was on overload and everything was just zinging my entire body, and I wasn't sleeping for days on end. Like, I could hear probably a pin drop like 2 miles away down the street. That's how sensitive I was. And at the time this was taking place, I had neighbors upstairs moving out. And then I also had they were doing a rehab, a remodel as somebody moved out, creating all kinds of racket, putting in new flooring, and then there was the idea of the showing of it and stuff like that, which wasn't too bad. But then people moved in. And then the interesting thing, after me being there for 8 years and having had two people prior to these people that moved in that space, for some reason, they were just like, to me, just as loud as you could be. And it really wasn't them as much as it was me being super and hypersensitive to that stimulus that's around me, that I just my soul needed to rest. But it was really teaching me to go inside of me and to not let that distract me. But that said, I will also say about that, I was so hypersensitive that before the man worked at 5 a.m., the minute he woke up, I was awake, because I would wake up and then his feet would hit the floor as he started off in his day. So, we're in tune with that kind of energy. And what the cool thing was, going through that process, I knew it wasn't them. And I knew that I was being shown that I had to find that sacred space inside of myself, because where I lived in my space, the whole place was my vortex. I called it my vortex. I called it my sacred space. I called it my sanctuary. It was my cocoon of healing for 8 years before moving here to Sedona. And it taught me a lot about, living with people around me in these places, because I had been in a home 17 years prior, and didn't deal with like neighbors so close, and actually neighbors, but not in the same building and that kind of thing. So I invite you to, number one, acknowledge that your sacred space is inside of you. Hi, Tracy. I started to call you Tracy. True crazy lion that came out as Tracy. So welcome. Welcome, welcome. And but the truth, sacred space is inside of you. So first of all, take a look at it and be like, okay, what can I do on a daily basis to create this sanctuary that I will find inside of me, but I can go to this space, and it doesn't have to be a big space. It could be a little corner. It could be like what do they call the altars, somewhere that you can call your own, especially if you're in a home that actually you have maybe kids or, roommates or those sorts of things. That can even take what I just said to a whole new level in your space, because that is one thing. You do have to be careful about the space. Even where we're at here in Sedona, there's a lot more people that live in this one building than ever did in the other building. And there is a lot going on with some stuff with that. And um, you could tell when people came and went and gone and moved that the energy shifted. And I even asked my neighbor, which is also super sensitive or understands the energy, and said, did you notice a difference in this? Because I'm really feeling this huge difference. And she said, yes. So it was truth. When there is truth to the energy of people's energy being in your space. But on that being said, you want to create a space inside so the energy around you doesn't pull you out of alignment with your own sacred place inside. And so again, find a place in your home that can be your haven, your nest, your ability to go there and dedicate some time to yourself in silence. And that's what I would recommend you use the space for, but also, again, make it intentional of what you need and what you need to learn and how you need to get present and what you need to do. Like right now, this kind of is my sacred space in some ways, because every morning I come here, Darren, my beloved brings me breakfast, basically, really just every morning. Like it used to be like more than not. Now I couldn't even tell you when the last time he didn't. So I just want to send a huge shout out to him for that and say thank you. Because that is where I collect in the morning. I get started for my day. I do some things for myself. I do my reading. I, do a lot of different things. But prior to that, him and I usually do meditate or work out or something beforehand together. But it's a place to get, like organized in my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions and my day. So I spend a little time getting myself motivated in the morning. And, it's a beautiful thing when you can dedicate some time to yourself and do it in a place that you can, just fully sink into yourself and feel out what your emotions are, what your feelings are, what your thoughts are, what your day is. Declutter your head. And, I do that at the end of the day too. That kind of at the end of the day is going to the bedroom and even letting my beloved know that, like, I need to decompress. I'm going to go in there and decompress. I'm going to just let down, I'm relax, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to maybe mindlessly surf something. I'm going to check something out that just get focused, or maybe even just check Facebook. And it's really weird because I don't do that a lot and all the time anymore, because I just stay so focused on other things. But sometimes mindlessly surfing on Facebook is like a meditation for me. So find what works for you. And then maybe put something in there in your space that's calming, that, brings, that's maybe even, like represents what peace means to you, that represents what your ability to get present means to you, and put that in your space. And I've said this before, but Champ does that for me a lot. We're packing, we're getting ready to leave. We're leaving right after, well, there's not right after. We got a couple things to do. We're going to be leaving soon. But I want to get on here and let you know that I said I would do my best to show up today. I had a lot of different things to get ready for, but nothing was been rushed and just taking time. And then we got a few last minute things to do and then heading out. But as I was about to say, I was getting ready earlier, and, Champ just follows me, looks at me, watches me. And I know he's about to miss us because he, follows us, one of us, everywhere. And he just loves being part of the pack. And I know he's going to miss us while we're gone. And so, I just pause. Like, I find power in the pause and just let him know I love him. He brings so much presence to me, brings me stillness. And even that happens even in my daily life and with my beloved. So like earlier, I was doing some catch up things. I had a couple things that like kind of flipped me over my lid that that is just things I've been dealing with just things that shouldn't even necessarily mean anything. Just dealing with different glitches and going through these tech supports that you try to explain to them what you need and they don't even hear what you just said you need or what happened. And I've been doing this a lot lately, and it happened. And I'm like, okay, you need to pray for me because I can't deal with this another again. But it was something that needed fixed before we left to make it the best possible, knowing like, okay, this got taken care of and handled before we left because it really did need to get handled. And then before that, even he just showed up and, I'm in the middle of working, getting my stuff done, responding to 8 messages, and just paused and just came in, gave me a kiss. I love you. Like, and so, oops, let me see. Let me decline that. Sorry. So, hopefully they're still there. Like, sorry, my phone started ringing for those of you on Instagram. So sorry. But anyway, it's actually the dog sitter, and he knows what's going on. We're leaving, and he's calling me, so I probably should get going here in a minute, call him back. But I just want to recap. If this is your first time joining and you're kind of wondering what I'm talking about the 30 days of transformation, and today is day 23, that it's a journey to your true self and giving tips, techniques, sharing with you things that I've done that can help you come into your fullness, your best self, and live your best life. And living that intentionally, consciously, and showing up, consciously living and being fulfilled daily and finding peace and joy and happiness and all the great things that we've known to be what's heaven on earth in this journey as we go through the ascension to our true self. So today we're talking about finding a sacred space, which is really inside of you. But that being said, find a space that you can maybe start in and then work from that space inside of you. And if you've missed these, you can go over to YouTube and you will find on the playlist, and the playlist is the 30 Days of Transformation, and you can get caught up. You can also actually subscribe, hit the notification bell, when I come live. Today we're leaving, and there's going to be a pause in this until we're back, and be back on here around the 20, probably more like the 29th, maybe 30th. Okay, if I need that extra day. And I'll finish up in the last 7 days. But what I will say to you, I also got to see how that responds into getting into the retreat. I haven't even checked that out yet. I don't know if I have 7 days before the retreat after I get back. So regardless, if you've been following me, we're doing a retreat here in Sedona, which is going to be all about creating sacred space and the vortexes and connecting to yourself and becoming more that true version of yourself and helping you get through that gap of who you've been to who you're becoming. So, if it really resonates, we'd love to see you and have you here in Sedona. Join us for the Sedona Rejuvenation Retreat. Again, we'll be working on finding that sacred space within us and connecting to the land and doing a lot of deep healing and activation in the land, in the vortexes. It's going to be and the beautiful views that are here. But check out that page for that retreat in the description above or below, depending upon your platform. And also on Instagram, you can find that in my bio. And I just want to acknowledge Crazy Lion here has said a couple things. Welcome to all of you that have joined me on Instagram. I just want to acknowledge here, and then I'm going to call the dog sitter. Brilliant choice of topic. Okay, thank you. This one really, it was on the list, and I was like, when I looked at it, I kind of jumped it up 2 days because I thought this needs to happen today. For some reason, it felt like it needed to happen today. Okay, yeah, it is like a master class having this 30 days of transformation, isn't it? So, that feeling of having to deal with the noise and the disturbances while you're not feeling well. It's horrible. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. It was an intense time, but it taught me a lot to be able to find my inside of myself and find that inner sanctuary. So if you've missed what I've talked about, go back and watch this. But I was talking about how the truest sanctuary is inside of yourself, finding that inner stillness and finding that sacred space to sink into, to get really present within yourself. So you get what I'm saying about surfing on Facebook. Oh, cool. Because I'm not the only one then. Because most people are like, I don't want Facebook. I'm like, well, I don't know. Like Facebook to me sometimes is like meditative and therapeutic, just because I mindlessly go on there and it takes me out of like other things I might be thinking about. So thanks for sharing that, because Most people don't say that. They're usually the opposite. Um, oh, thank you so much. We plan to have a really good time, so we'll be gone again. We're leaving probably within the hour-ish. And so thank you so much. And thank you to my beloved that's saying keep shining here. And we're about to go have an amazing time. Today is literally our 1-year anniversary for when we met, and the journey that we've been on has been just so miraculously amazing. And welcome everyone, and thanks again. So be sure to like, comment, share the shine. Make sure to check out the link for the retreat coming up, and I will see you guys when we're back from Hawaii. We're heading out to Hawaii and just within about an hour, heading to the by the airport to fly out in the morning. So love you guys, and I'll see you next time. And thank you so much for everyone that's been following, and I'll see you soon.